How's it going, boys? CASPR-AirTaxKing back at it again with a new Broken Arrow video here on the channel. We are going to be playing as Russia again in this one, specifically with a Coastal VDV deck, which we'll get into in a second. I thought I'd take a different approach with this video. We'll try a live commentary on the match so that we can get a better idea of what I'm doing in the moment, so I can explain my rationale for what I'm doing in the moment in the match. So you can see here that we got matched against a US team, and we're playing on Jelgavas Pils, which is one of my favorite maps. It's a little wonky with that big open flank, but as you can see here, we're playing with a very mobile deck in VDV Coastal. This one is definitely a missile spamming deck. You can see we've got two MiG-35s and two Tu-22s. We also have the Iskanders, and with this one, it's a slight variation on the deck I've been using recently. I went back to the Tors. As much as I love the Beregs, it's just no comparison. The Tor is such a great unit, and we have so much infantry, so much recon. There's so many things that makes this deck really good. I ended up getting shunted out over to the K flank, which I still have quite a few complaints over. I do like having that open space in a sense, if you're going to do a lot of air battles, but as you can see in this match, or as you'll see in this match, there's quite a bit of helicopter spam from my opponent, so I had to compensate with that by using my own helicopters, but I didn't have a whole lot of helicopters, so I ended up using planes. Specifically, I have the Yak 39 or 38, whatever that little crappy jump jet is that Russia gets in Coastal. I take one of those as a helicopter interceptor, as I like to call it, and it can be a really useful unit for dealing with helicopters that are massing and that are pestering your front line and threaten to pester your back line if you don't have any shore add up. And that's what the Tor is for, is to deal with them, but the Tor takes a long time to get deployed. So my thinking with this match here was double Sioux Felon, double Felon opener, and potentially an airdrop. I was originally really planning on doing an airdrop, but I did not end up doing one. I deployed the Sarmat with the VDV Snipery. That is such a great opener for VDV. You have this 135 kilometer an hour unit, and you have this sniper which can fit perfectly in it. It's such a great little opener just to get some recon down really early. People don't really expect it. I think it's kind of it's a relatively new thing in the game, so people just are not expecting that as an opener. They're not really expecting you to get to the front that quickly with a unit of any kind of ground unit. So we're pushing the gap here with the Felons. We're going to fire off the long rangers there. The buff to long range missile speed is so great. It's such a welcome change. It means long range missiles are viable. Interceptor style planes are viable. The Felon has max speed, at least as fighters are concerned. Currently the 900 kilometers an hour. That's going to be a lot more when the Foxhound is introduced at the end of the summer with Rosgvardia. But for now, the Felon is a really good option as an interceptor because it's very quick. It has some stealth, and it has the option to carry 4 of those R-37 missiles. This one is option with 2 and 3 R-77s. Just gives it that multi-purpose function, and you can see we're firing off on this Harrier here, and we get the kill. We don't take any damage, so we do end up wasting the missile, the second R-37 missile, on this plane. So alrighty, so yeah, I've got my Sarmat here. I wasn't really paying attention to it. As you can see, there's a Kiowa, and usually it's a bad thing because I take Kiowas with Hellfires. This guy did not, but what we were able to do was deploy the Sarmat. Sarmat on this one has a minigun. I would have preferred to take the Cord heavy machine gun, but it just put the price of the deck slightly over. I think actually I could put it, I think I'm at 99.80. I probably could take the extra 5 points and put it on the heavy machine gun. I saw that pack there, so I was taking the minigun to try and take him, or the Sarmat to take him. Throw a 4 post over there as well, just to scout it out. Still have a Felon loitering, just to make sure that there are no planes coming in, potentially any helicopters. If there are helicopters, you can still send the Felon. That's a nice thing about the Felon. is that it actually comes stock with the R73s. You cannot take it off there, which there is a scenario, I suppose, in which it'd be nice to take the R77s instead of the R73, but yeah, because you'd really like to use this plane in long-range engagements. You really don't want it getting up close and personal with anything, but with the instance in this deck where you want this deck to be, or this plane to be as versatile as possible, having all 3 missile classes is actually kind of nice. So I'm falling behind here in terms of the deployment. So I'm like, okay, let's get the Typhoons forward. I ended up not going with the airdrop, and I see this helicopter coming in, so I'm like, okay, let's get the Yak out. This piece of garbage. I feel like nobody uses this unit, but you'll see here that it is extremely useful, especially if you don't take air-to-air missiles on your helicopters, and that's an Apache. You cannot take an air-to-air missile. This guy was playing, yeah, I was about to say Marine Airborne, which is a very good deck. It's a really good deck. It's my favorite American deck, or in my top 3 at least. So I know that he has some good tank options. He's got really decent infantry. He has a really good air tab. Support tab is okay. You get the Brutus and the Catfay, which are both really strong. Recon is weak, though. Recon is pretty weak on that deck. You do get quite a few sniper units. You just don't get a lot of interesting recon infantry, like VDV Coastal does, for example. You get VDV Spetsnaz, you get Morskaya Razvedka. You know, that was a very French accent on my Russian there. I think it's Morskaya Razvedka. That might be a little closer. But you can see here the Yak-38 is doing a job. It's good to take at least the missiles. I think I would like to maybe re-option this thing with the extra guns to have extra ammo, because you'll see that in this one I end up killing a few helicopters and I literally just run out of ammo, which is kind of funny. We end up getting another Sarmat out here because I need eyes forward. Having some degree of recon is extremely useful. It's not just useful, it's critical. You need it. This is a pretty good deployment, though, with these Typhoons. Typhoons are amazing. 5-man transport capacity. It's perfect for VDV and for Coastal, because Coastal, of course, has more Sky Razvedka, as I just mentioned. I wish that Spetsnaz VMF was 5-man, because then you could throw them in there. Would have been perfect. Perfect, but not meant to be. And you can see the Yak is just doing work here. There's a Prowler. I only have a few bullets left. I see that right now, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's turn around and just kill these helicopters. At least one of them. And I think we ended up getting the Kiowa, because that's a weaker helicopter. That's the one I should be targeting. I think he's out of missiles as well. And you can see we're going in there. Yep, boom, 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 dead. And we're out of ammo. So I send him back. He's going to run out of fuel, though. So there's nothing I can do. I'm kind of plotting, you know, what do I do now? And I know I need to get the recon forward. And you can see the Sarmat. I deployed it literally like 15 seconds ago. It's already there. It's so quick. It's such a quick unit. Russia has quite a few quick transports like that. And Rosgvardia is going to get Tiger transport, which is a 7-man transport. I think it goes 120, maybe 130. So it's going to be nearly as fast as the Sarmat, but it can carry 7 men. There's an option to up armor it if the leaks are correct, which will probably slow it down, but still having that option for a transport that can carry 7 men, which means you're going to have a ton of compatibility, synergy with basically every Russian deck to carry units. It's going to be really nice. Okay, so I do end up going for the airdrop here, which ended up being a pretty good call. Got some supplies down, got some good infantry down. We have a MiG-35 here. I call them out just to cover my deployment here. He misses, and that's fine. I think this transport ends up getting away, but it doesn't matter in any case because, you know, well, we have that Tor, and this is the reason I love this unit. Those missiles do so much damage. If you have the space in your deck, you can get the Pantsir, which is an extremely powerful unit. Obviously, the best version of it is the tracked Pantsir, and Mech, which is the upgrade of the Tunguska, because then you get the 20mm guns, or maybe the 30mm. In any case, such a useful unit, unbelievable SHORAD unit, the best SHORAD unit in the game. So I've got enough deployment here, and as you can see, this guy ends up ambushing me with some helicopters. We do have a VDV there, and I know of the Tor, so I'm like, okay, let's get him up. Maybe he can do some damage here. The VDVs at least beat back these Cobras. At the very least, just to give me some time to regroup here, we have the Sarmat. I send him back just to pick up this pilot. Get the snipers in position. I should turn them on hold fire. Hopefully I do. And in terms of the rest of the deployment for my team, we did really well in center. As you can see, whoever's playing lime green, that looks like it's a VDV Coastal as well. Yeah, VDV Coastal as well. He's using Desantniki, which is not a unit I ever use. It just doesn't have a lot of transport synergy, at least not quick transport synergy with the VDV Coastal. But he gets a really nice deployment onto G. I don't believe he holds that, but as you can see, K is starting to fall. So I'm content to hold this flank for now. Really, this is my one criticism of this game. And anytime I play the flank like this, not anytime, but sometimes, is that I don't really deploy in center strongly enough. But this airdrop ended up being really clutch because I do end up holding the center. And one of the players, whoever the enemy player is who's on K, he ends up trying to get some sort of a push onto me on the flank. I end up ambushing him at some point. I think it's around the 15-minute mark here. We have a few Spruts coming forward now. The Spruts are going to be the star of the show in a little bit. I end up, as you saw in the intro, I ended up getting a really nice kill, a really, really well-coordinated kill. And you can see right there, there's a few units coming through center. We're about to ambush them with the units I have. Just trying to get some recon forward to get some visuals. I know there's units here. Here you go. Big, big ambush. This is a really nice one. I have a few Sturms floating around. Unfortunately, they're in the wrong spot. This Cenibaretti does a really good job of holding the line. And you can see we spot a Thunderbolt there. I lose the sniper in the process, though, unfortunately. I call forward a helicopter just for coverage. If I was to redo this deck, I would probably take one less alligator. Oh, it's so difficult, though, because it's such a fun unit. Maybe take more MI-35s with Iglas on the side. It's an armored unit. It has decent visual. But the idea is, even if something like a Little Bird or a Kiowa gets the, or a Comanche even gets the first shot, you're going to be able to shoot back. You can tank a few hits, and if you can get a few missiles off, then you're going to cause the opposition helicopter some serious damage. Okay, so yeah, we're still doing pretty good here. Sturm, we end up losing that guy. But this Igla is really well placed. We have the Tor, which ends up missing quite a few shots here, if I'm not mistaken. But we do end up killing this Guardian, or Apache. Or that might have been a longbow, actually. In any case, we were able to defeat that column going through. That was a really good ambush. My guy's able to get his troops in. He retakes K. I'm content to kind of just hold this flank and distract. You know, it's a legitimate playstyle. It's totally viable to do something like this if it actually is productive. If you're getting your butt whooped on the flank, then honestly do better. But my team's doing really well on that right flank there. I don't really have a whole lot of footage of what they're doing. I was really locked into what I was doing, frankly. Get this alligator forward, kill him, and then I should back him up. Good. This guy has a lot of helicopters. I find out he's got quite a few air-to-air helicopters. He has a couple of sidearms, sea-capable helicopters. So there's a lot going on here. This alligator is tempting fate with that stinger in there, but thankfully he gets away. At this point, I'm pretty well situated. This guy does make a few decent pushes, though. He kind of gets a late deployment because I don't think he really, or any of the team, the opposition, really realize what's going on until I really start to kind of pester those high rises. I start to get a good visual of what's going on beyond them. I don't really push until later in the match, but as you can see, there's a tank there. I lose this alligator to a Kiowa, which is really annoying, and I only have a Katran. My yak's not ready, so I'm kind of in a really tricky situation here. We have this Viper coming forward. Either Cobra or Viper. There's an airborne Recce in there too. I'm trying to get the tow forward in order to deal with this Viper. We lose our PDSS, but now we have the good old Spruts coming through. And you'll see just how effective these Spruts can be. They're extremely effective, in fact. Boom, Tor. That's why you bring a Tor. One-hit kill. It can one-hit kill a Viper or a Cobra. Super Cobra, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so in this situation, I'm kind of in a goof. I do have my Spruts, but I don't really deploy them well. I end up losing those two troops there. They're going to Strelki. in the igloo, excuse me. But I do get to... Oh man, I can't believe that alligator missed that. We do get the kill here on the Harrier there, which is good because he was targeting my Kamovs. I don't think I lose that better jock there. Yeah, no, I don't think I do that. I have those Spruts. I just need to push them forward. We have Sturms as well. Yep, get him forward, and here's where the intro clip comes from. So this is really just showing off the true power of these tank destroyers. You have the Sprut on the Russian side and the Thunderbolt on the American side. They have very powerful guns for their weight class, especially the Alligator with the upgraded gun. Or the Alligator, what am I saying? The Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt on the US side is extremely powerful. Extremely, extremely powerful. Two of those can easily take on an Armata if you know what you're doing. They also have access to APS, which means they have some sort of protection against infantry in forest or helicopters, for example, or any kind of ATGM. Very powerful unit. It's simply a very powerful unit. At 190 points, I personally believe it's the best value tank in the game because it can obliterate any Russian tank in 2 shots outside of the Armata and like some of the heavier T-90s. But you'll see here the Sprut is extremely useful. In the same way, this is an M1A1 FEP trophy, which is, I believe, the best tank available to the Marine spec. And these Spruts make really easy work of them. I could have gotten a really good kill there if I held fire with that one Sprut and then double fire them at the same time. But we end up getting a kill here in a second after a few seconds here of deliberation. Way more objectives than he should be. And then you have me holding the flank, and then on the far side there, you have the teal player doing his best to try and challenge one of those middle objectives on the far right. And then you have that kind of deeper green player, that kind of blue-green player. I guess it's cyan, like a dark cyan. He's doing a really good job of kind of doing what I'm doing on the other flank. It's just kind of holding, in his case he's actually holding an objective, but with me, or with him, he actually holds the objective and pushes the flank really effectively. On that side, it's more narrow. As you can see, there's a lot of open space on that left flank. And I'm seeing that now, and I'm thinking, this guy keeps deploying helicopters. He's going to heli push me at some point. So let's get a Tor up here to mitigate any kind of risk of that. Because the Tor, again, 16 missiles. They can one-tap any of the American helicopters he's sent my way that are genuine threats. The Apache and the Longbow are pretty good, but in this case, you'd want to be using the Cobra, the Viper, and the Kiowa, because they're a little quicker, they have better armament, they have air-to-air armament in particular, which is very important, and in the case of the Viper and the Super Cobra, you can bring the sidearm seed missile, which can help deal with something like a Tor, which is maybe loitering around with its radar on and the player's not noticing. With me, I'm really good at turning off my seed, or my radar, so this was not really an issue. Alright, so there's a nice thing about these SAR maps is you can cycle them really quickly so long as the VDV spawns. And with the Russian side, you have a few options. There's not many, I don't think there's really any other 3-man sniper units on the Russian side, but you do have access to Sniperi on the mech deck. Coastal doesn't really have one. Guards, I don't think has a recon unit. Motorized, I don't think has one either. So yeah, it's kind of a weird one. In the future, there is going to be a unit called the Pogrannichniki, if I'm not mistaken, or Pogrannichniki. They are a 3-man recon unit. They're not particularly good. They'll have like 1750 vision. They'll be like a 3-man unit with no ATG or with no anti-tank capabilities, but they'll have smoke. And again, it's really just like a Pogrannichniki or a border guard unit, and they will fit really nicely into the SAR map. I'm not sure. Well, actually, no. Come to think of it, it seems like they're going to give Rosgvardia a few decent tank options. They're at least getting the T-62, which would pair well with the Sprut. But if they actually give them that T-72 Ural, which is like the T-72 and T-72A variants, like the really garbage ones. I think it's a T-72 AV they showed off on the recent stream. That'll be a really nice pairing with VDV. I'm going to make a video soon about the Rosgvardia situation because the devs have not really leak to anything. And there you go again, Sarmat. I called it in literally like 15-20 seconds ago. It's already at the front. It's going to be amazing if there's any more units that can be paired into that particular unit, and if not the Typhoons, the Tigers, if they actually move anywhere near as quick as this Sarmat does, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing for Russia. And then for American players, don't worry about it as well, because America is going to be getting the MATV, or excuse me, the JLTV, the Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, I believe it's called. We have it in the game technically with SOCOM and the MATV, which is actually a very good unit now, because now it can carry 4 infantry unit, or 4-man infantry squads, at least in the PTE. But yeah, Navy's not coming till probably the end of the year, I think, at best. That's a good 6 months from now, as it's June. Rosgvardia is hopefully coming some point in hopefully August. We'll see. End of the summer. End of the Russian summer is August, so I think that's what we're all hoping for. Anyway, I'm got a few recon units up here, so I'm just trying to get them deployed so I can see what this guy is doing, to see if I can get any sort of visual on his deployment, his support lines. As you can see, we have the Sprut there, and I'm about to lose this Tor, which is a little tricky, but he smokes out, and I'm allowed to save my Tor. Move the Sprut up just to try and get visual, and I move that Moskaya Resvedka in there to try and get a shoulder-launched rocket off, an RPG off as quick as I can, but it doesn't happen. I think this guy looks like he's moving through the smoke. We're going to target him. He's going to die really quickly here. Boom. Yeah, ends up dying too, that Moskaya Resvedka. RPG 27 is a really good RPG. 650 millimeters pen with 9 damage, or 8.5 to 9.5 damage, somewhere in that range. It's very good. It's basically the same projectile that the Sturm are getting currently, this VDV Sturm. Really interesting units, quite strong. As you saw during that ambush, they can come in and really clean up. And there you go, boom. As I predicted, we were going to get some sort of a heli rush on my side, and he comes in at the right time to attack the Kurva, but he doesn't kill it. He doesn't blow up the supplies either, and that Tor makes very quick work of those helicopters. And as you can see, the other Tor was getting challenged as well. And again, this is just such a strong unit. Being able to take 2 of them and still being able to take the Iskanders is really nice, though of course we lose out on the indirect fire unit of the Bereg. Perhaps we can change it so that we take only 1 Iskander, and then we can take a couple Beregs. But I just love the Iskander so much, especially with this playstyle, this missile playstyle. I kind of jokingly to myself call it the CASPR system, though I know of course I'm never going to take ownership over something that's literally just basic military doctrine. Though I think I'll make a video kind of talking about how I like to play the game, specifically with this deck. I've made quite a few gameplay videos showing off this playstyle, but I haven't gone into depth on how to actually do it correctly. You'll see there's 2 really good launches at the end of the game in the CASPR style, we'll say, where I'm deploying ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, air-to-ground cruise missiles, and seed all at the same time. And it's just such an effective tactic if you can actually spot what you're hitting, or trying to hit at least. So we have a really good deployment here. So as you can see, the teammate lost ING, which is completely reasonable. Nobody expected him to keep those. Those are very difficult to keep. With VDV Coastal as well, not a whole lot of heavy tank options or heavy infantry. We do have Chenjebereti, which is really nice. This new and improved Chenjebereti is an absolute godsend for this spec. But it can't do the job on its own. And that's why having all these little VDV support units is really nice. And that's kind of what they are. They are support units at the end of the day. We got a pack there. And he ends up losing it. I was thinking of challenging him with the Tu-22, but it wasn't meant to be. We do get those launches off though eventually, so don't worry. But yeah, as you saw, we launched some Iskanders before. They didn't really come off correctly. Didn't get any kills. It's difficult to do that in a moving target. We get some resupply here. Got some of the units are weakened, some of them need supplies, so it's one of the nice things about this deck. The VDV type, or Kamaz VDV, excuse me, can be a really frustrating unit for some people because it has a relatively low transport and supply capacity. But if you know how to cycle it onto larger supply dumps, it can be extremely potent. But as you can see, there's a few of those red units, Marines and ACBs coming in So I'm thinking, okay, we got to set up a nice little ambush here. We have some thermobaric units. We have the Tor, I'm going to move him out of the way. We have the Sprut, I'm going to bring him in. And hopefully we can trap him in that space right now where that Sprut is reversing into, that dirt patch. If I can get him into there and the Spruts can fire, it's going to be really difficult for this guy to push me correctly. And I figure, okay, let's bring forward a few more reinforcements. I'm really liking the VDV Sturm unit. It's a nice addition. Hopefully when they integrate the PTE changes into vanilla, they continue this tradition, or continue this trend at least, of adding new units into the game. There's no reason to add them into the PTE. The PTE should be used to change large major meta shifting changes, such as IFE resupplies, such as the overkill mechanic, such as the ASF changes, such as the tank damage changes. That's what the PTE is for, not for adding small little units like Airborne Recce or Sturm, or VDV Sturm. These are really fun things, and hopefully they all come to the main game so that players who have not tried the PTE can try them. But for now, we're about to lose this tour, unfortunately. For now, we're enjoying them in the PTE, and frankly, we're having a really good time enjoying them. So we're getting challenged by this airborne unit. Kind of a tricky unit to deal with most times. Especially at that range, he's got it in a really good spot there where it can hit its shoulder-launched rocket, its shoulder-launched RPGs, and really threaten my tanks. But as you can see, with sustained fire, you can kind of dislodge them. They're a really good medium-range unit, short to medium-range unit, not like a CQC unit, airborne. Yeah, NGSW. This guy ends up going for a bombing run on the tank, but somehow doesn't kill it. So I'm able to get him out and resupply him. And this whole match, I didn't even bother bringing out the Vityaz. It just felt unnecessary. It's a nice thing about having these felons is that you can cycle them very effectively if you range them correctly and you keep them out of distance because, well, they have the range on the missiles, as you can see, and they have their stealth. 1.25 isn't much, but it's better than nothing. We get a missile off on that Hornet. I didn't get the kill, but I do get the kill on this Global Hawk, which is important. He probably only has one in the deck because Marine Airborne only has 1250 recon tab points. We bring out another Cordova here, get some supplies to the Iskanders, which are sitting there idle. It's important to get those resupplied as often as possible because you can get a full launch off in 4 minutes, I believe. Or it's 160, yeah, so 4 minutes for a full reload on one launcher. But over 2 launchers, it's the same time. So you can really spam out some serious missile damage if you're consistent about resupplying. End up moving this tour forward, which is the right call because we lost our one in the front. Alright, so yeah, we bring this VDV here. Typhoon VDV, and I'm thinking, okay, let's get this T-80 out of here. We're going to need to resupply him. We're going to need him for the fight. We're only down to 1 Sprut as well. And you can see this guy's coming forward. I'm thinking, great, he's just going to be perfectly positioned to hit my VDV. Snipery again. Very annoying. Ends up killing VDV Typhoon. Yeah, let's just smoke it out. Yeah, very annoying situation, really, with these helicopters. But we end up doing pretty well with them. And there we go. Again with the Sarmat. Let's get a timer going. I'm going to get a timer going here. Here's the stupidest kill of the game, as you can see. You might not have saw it there. I turned my Tor off. The seed missile from that Prowler broke its lock, and then it decided, hey, I'm going to target your T-80 in the forest. That's 1 hit, and the seed missiles do top attack damage. So I think even if it was at like half health, he probably would have killed it. But yeah, really funny situation there. I think we're up to 15 seconds, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I can see him on the mini-map flying up. He's going to be here in like 30 seconds or so, which is really lovely. Really, really lovely. Yeah. So, yeah, I just went through my my files real quick, just having a quick little check here, because I really am curious about these vehicle speeds, because you can see is it that little buggy going up there with the VDV. I believe it's called the Sarmat, right? Am I still like mispronouncing that? I don't even know. But yeah, from the leaks that are available of Rosgvardia, they have 3 different transports potentially. They have 2 confirmed and 1 that might end up being a transport in the same way that the Sarmat was turned into a transport. Because originally, ooh, here we go. Yeah, and as you can see, I was getting some major memory leak issues for no reason at all. But yeah, you can see it's already there. That was like 30 seconds, I'm pretty sure. And you see I have 2 of them there. I need to send them back to base. But yeah, we get a nice little deployment there. This guy starts mortaring. He's got nothing left to do. Yeah, Sarmat 2. So that goes 135 miles an hour, or kilometers an hour, excuse me. Rosgvardia is going to get a very similar unit called the Shaburs, the Shaburs M6, which goes 130 kilometers an hour. They're also, that is like, currently, at least how it was built in the last leak, is exactly how the Sarmat was before it got the transport capacity buff, I suppose you could call it. It's just a pure fire support unit, a quick recon fire support unit. They're also getting something called the BPM-97, which is exclusive to the border guards, and then there's the Gaz-Tiger. So the BPM goes 90 kilometers an hour. The Gaz-Tiger, again, 7-man transport capacity, 140 kilometers an hour. It's going to be absolutely mind-bending how quick this spec is going to be. But anyway, back to the gameplay here. Got a nice little interceptor of the Felon, and I can see there is some sort of anti-air unit there. The Tor's doing some work on a Harrier here. He tries killing the tank that he already killed with the seed missile. I think he was even in disbelief he did that, didn't even realize it. But as you can see, I get pushed here with some Harriers, and I'm like, okay, I've got the Felon. We have 2. I'm not really paying attention. I know I'm out of R37s, but I thought I had more R77s, so I push. I get a couple shots off. I overcommit. I lose my missiles. And I'm like, okay, let's get out of here. And as you can see, somehow I'm not seeing those guys. And yeah, I lose a Felon to a bunch of Harriers, which is honestly pretty pathetic. This system really needs to change. It's just dumb that the Harrier is literally one of the most viable fighters in the game. Like, it's cute that it can shoot AMRAAMs. It's useful in a sense, maybe to kill something like a recon drone, but it should not be challenging a Felon. You know, it should not be challenging a Su-35. I mean, it's just stupid. It's very dumb. The high-end fighters need a visual range buff. They need range buff on the missiles. It's just the whole shebang, in my opinion. ECM buff. Yeah, just anyway. We're getting pushed here on these tower blocks, these under construction tower blocks, and I do have the units to deal with it, but I don't really go crazy for it. He has some Smaws coming in here, which is a very powerful unit. I have the Sturms. I don't know why I'm sending that one forward. He's panicked. It's really dumb. And then you have Marskaya Razvedka, who got crushed, and we'll lose a VDV Typhoon. We do have some tanks here though who can shoot. He's still loitering those Harriers, but they're not really going to do anything. Nothing at all. Oh yeah, there. He's pushing. My teammate pushes with a Su-35, which is very courteous of him. Didn't really need to do that. They didn't really cause me any concern. They weren't really a threat, to be honest, at that point. But I'm pushing back his assault here. He's got a small there. He's about to lose the other one. Yeah, I can see he's doing some cute little deployment stuff. So I send out a helicopter. I send out the Mikhalic, which is a really powerful unit. This one I'm taking double lemur loadout, which is very strong. But at this point, I'm doing really well. I get a nice little assist here from my teammate. Those are my 35s. It doesn't matter. They're a very effective unit for what they are. Nice little heavily armored transport. Very nice transport indeed. Yeah, so he has these stupid mortars. I didn't really see where it fired there, honestly. And I'm like, okay, I don't really need to kill these things. They're not a threat. They're not a threat at all, in fact. And that's, for whatever reason, the best artillery he decided to bring with his deck. That's very much a him problem. See, here's a lav there. I don't really deal with it. It just doesn't matter. I mean, he starts trying to funnel recon in there, but it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, as you can see, I start setting up for an Iskander launch, and I have a lot of points. And when I have a lot of points, and I've got Iskanders out, it means we are going to do a Casper run. So I see these tanks going in here. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to score some kills there. We deploy the Tupolev 22 with the KH-32s, and then we have the KH-58Us seed missiles on the MiG-35. You combine all three of these units together, and it's absolute, it's beautiful. Like, it's honestly beautiful watching this come down. I don't think I killed those Iron Thunders that are sitting in the alley right there. But yeah, we do end up getting a few kills here. You can see this is a really nice sniper you're about to see on that slam ram. So I think I have them on hold fire, which is good. I fire the ballistic missiles just there, the Tupolev missiles in there, and we do not score a kill on those big ones. But we send the MiG in. We send those MiGs in just to try and do some damage. Boom, boom. So there's a big bang right there. Get a few units. Ended up being infantry, not the tanks, unfortunately. Bang, get the slam ram. Ended up being a really, really good run. A really good run, in fact. But we do end up getting another one off, and it ends up being even better. My infantry position is really strong. I really should have sweeped over to the right side a lot earlier. But, yeah, at this point, my team is just doing so well, it didn't even matter. Yeah, I've got a pilot over there, but look, I've got a Sarmat. So let's send the Sarmat. I don't think that's what I end up doing here. We make another Cordova, which is interesting. Yeah, I think I lost my Sprut, and I'm like, okay, let's just bring them. I should have put some supplies in there too, but I do love you can do that with the Cordova. I'm kind of tempted to get rid of the other, what is it, the Mi-38, and just bring a bunch of Cordovas because they're just so useful. And unfortunately, when you put the cage armor on the Sprut, you can't airdrop it. But I would not take that cage armor off if you paid me. Having that heat resistance is absolutely clutch against RPGs, for example, and ATGMs. Yeah, but yeah, Red is pretty much in submission at this point. He doesn't really have any idea what he wants to do. As you can see, I haven't really taken an objective, but I'm representing myself very well in respect to KD. So yeah, at this point, again, I'm just kind of light on recon. I don't have a whole lot of visuals on anything, so I send my PDSS forward. I eventually get that sniper forward. I bring forward another one and a Sarmat. You see that Sarmat is just flying. I think, yeah, just having these sorts of units, the Sarmat and then I guess the Sharbors with the Rosgvardia spec, whenever that comes, and that's assuming as well if they give it that troop carrying capacity or troop carrying capability, it's going to be absolutely clutch. You can use it for situations like this where you're evacing a pilot. You can use it to take in smaller sniper units, smaller recon units, and you can also use it as a sort of makeshift battlefield ambulance. Say it's just nearby and you have a heavily damaged unit, maybe down to 1 or 2 or 3 guys. You pop them in there, bring them to a supply point, and they can at least survive to fight another day. You can't redeploy them going back towards the battlefield, but or the front line, but you can at least keep them alive and in the fight for later on. Alright, so we're coming down to the final countdown here. And generally it's been a really good game. Overall it's been fun. Me and this lime green guy, we've done a really good job of holding this left flank on our own for the most part. Red got a really, it was originally pink, right? And then Red got a really bad deployment. And he's just not been able to dislodge me, even though I have no heavy armor. I mean, I do with the T-80s, but I kind of hardly ever use them. I just don't really feel the need. But bang, Tor, bang. Yeah, having those Tors, I mean, it's almost as good a substitute. Uh-oh, Felon, you better get out of there. How do I not see him? Thank you. Yeah, having Tors is almost a substitute for bringing long-range AA, but not quite, obviously. You still need to bring at least one long-range AA if it's available to you. I kind of wish that Coastal had the Buck, honestly, but having the medium ranger that can just take on all those missiles is really nice. Really, really nice, in fact. So yeah, green's done, again, a really good job of holding K. You have that dark green, which is holding center. Teal and cyan, like bright cyan and dark teal, they're doing a decent job of dealing on the right side. It can be really difficult to hold that objective when you're getting triple teamed. I have a really good match that I've been meaning to upload of me and another guy holding that flank against 3 Russians, and they had all heavy armor. I think 2 of them were guards. It was guards motorized. That was back when that was really overpowered in the PTE. But yeah, it's very doable. You just need to be set up correctly and have the right deck, preferably. Or if you don't have the right deck, then at least get a good deployment and just reinforce it correctly. But as you can see, there's a lot of big units bunching up. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, we have a TU on deck, we have a MiG on deck. These guys are moved into position, so they're ready to go. And I have time to get one really good launch off, and you're about to see that. We have a Hornet in there, and I'm pushing him with the Felon, which is probably not necessary. This Prowler overcommits, and I'm going to punish him for it. And I might... Oh, I didn't get the Prowler. Interesting. We might get the missile off here, though. Hopefully it's the Long Ranger. It should be, yeah. And he does get the kill on that, and then that R77 tags that guy. He is dead, so I get a double kill with the 57, which is nice. I shake a missile off there, and then we're out of there with him. That was a really, really good sortie with that Felon. Such a great unit. It's a slinky plane, as I like to say. There's no slinkier plane than the Raptor. Of course, it shakes missiles off like it's nothing, but frankly, it kind of doesn't matter. To be even in the conversation with something like the Raptor means you got to be pretty good. And in this game, it is very good. In real life, nobody knows how capable the Felon actually is. I mean, it's more capable in an air-to-ground role than the Raptor is, that's for sure. But truly, as a stealth fighter, nothing beats the Raptor as of 2026. So I'm doing some more spotting here. We have a few units floating around. And I've got those ballistic missiles on deck, and my point counter is about 100 away from being able to do the double launch with the planes. And again, it's my favorite thing to do in the game. When you get it off correctly, it's going to be, or it just feels amazing, especially if we get some big kills. And with this launch, we do get a few juicy ones. I'm really tempted to see how this launching system will work when they release Rosgvardia, because Rosgvardia is getting a Tu-95, which will carry cruise missiles. But more importantly and more interestingly is that the Kinzhal missile, which is available on the MiG-31K, will be available to Rosgvardia. It will have a conventional warhead, and it will also have a nuclear warhead. That's going to be really interesting. You're going to have a plane which will be able to go 1,300 kilometers an hour in game, launching a missile which will likely be even faster than the Cage-32. It'll have likely a similar trajectory, or maybe it's just straight shot ballistic trajectory. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But in any case, it's going to be amazing if you can seed for it correctly, if you can get it to connect correctly. We're just going to have to wait and see on that one. But as you can see, my teammates are doing a really good job of pushing ING, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, we really got to support them. I've got the money now, let's just get it going. So bing bong, boom. So we have, I was convinced there was a SAM in there, but there was not. But we do get the Tupolev forward here, and the MiG, we timed them together really, really well. This is a really, really well-timed launch compared to the last one, which was also still pretty decent. But this is a really perfect launch, you'll see why. Or nearly perfect. Nearly perfect. So I'm like, okay, let's get a few guys here. Bing, bang, and boom. I have him on hold fire. He needs to round about so he can fire his missiles at the same time as the Iskanders. But you have to launch the Iskanders first, and that's what I do. Launch them a little early, perhaps, but then we get these Tu-22 ones off. and these are all timed pretty well. As you can see, though, the MiG gets a little overcommitted. That was probably a little too far forward with him because he ends up getting countered. But as you can see, those Tu-22 missiles bing and boom. We get an M6 linebacker SHORAD, and we get 2 artillery pieces. I don't think there were Iron Thunders. That would have been really, really nice, killing 2 300-point artillery units. But they were like, yeah, just like the generic American artillery unit in armored. I forget what it's not the M109. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. And as you can see, we're supporting the push from my teammates here. I mean, at this point, the match is over, so we're kind of just having fun. You can see the FEP's coming in to ruin that fun in the forest there. But at this point, I kind of don't care. I'm just going to load in my fighter and just have a nice little chill end to the game. He doesn't really challenge me. Yeah, it doesn't challenge me on the flank here with helicopters again, which is a mistake because I literally have a Katran and a Mikhalic there, and neither of those have anti-air capabilities. But it doesn't exactly matter because we, yeah, again, we're just kind of chilling here. We're kind of seeing the match out. There's really not a whole lot to it. We just kind of push one more time against the Sex Eagle. We score a hit, but I don't think we kill anyone. Yeah, bang right there. Nearly kills him, but not quite. We might end up losing this felon here. Or no, I think he ends up slinking them. Yeah, he does. And I don't get a kill because I'm out of long rangers. But I do at least slink those missiles out. I beat those missiles, which is always a really nice feeling, getting the turn on that and defeating a missile. We send in the MiG-35 as reinforcements, but it's way too late. Those Sex Eagles are way out of there. But yeah, as you can see, I lost a few of them, a few of those guys there to those cruise missiles deployed by those Sex Eagles. And let's see here. I do think about doing something with that trophy, but I don't really have anything to do, or to do the job with, in order to kill that that FEP. And as you can see, they ended up sweeping the right side, which is really interesting. And it kind of beggars the question of why they didn't do it before. We just got lucky, thankfully. And yeah, I think that's, yeah, 34 got a nice bomb off. But yeah, they held out valiantly. They won the first 2 objectives, which was absolutely clutch. And we were able to do a lot of damage on the kill front, and that is what ended up sealing the deal for us. They ended up getting 11 points, so every point counted here. It was not impossible for them to win, but if we gave them kills, they very well could have. But in any case, boys, that's going to do it for this one. A fun match for sure. Got the most out of this VDV Coastal deck again. This is easily my favorite deck in the game at this point. This is true of the PTE and before the PTE. I really enjoyed using this deck before the PTE, but now with all the changes that have been made to, I mean, the tank damage. I mean, you saw the Sprut was really the star of the show earlier in the match. Killed a few infantry units, killed that FEP trophy, which was amazing. Love that these little tankettes and tank destroyers are viable, and you can see there's so many different units you can use in this deck. And if you don't want to play this missile playstyle, you can do that almost spammy kind of playstyle with the VDV Typhoons, where you're really just throwing in these really fast action or fast attack infantry carriers so that you can get to the front very quickly. Yeah, we also, as you can see, we got some usage out of this new VDV Sturm unit, which I'm really enjoying. I don't think it's as strong as people are making it out to be. It can be strong in blobs, but I think it's really best taken in blobs with other VDV units, such as the VDV Spetsnaz, potentially VDV Razvedka, Morskaya Razvedka from the Coastal deck. That's a 5-man unit. Any kind of 5-man unit is going to have really good synergy with VDV and the VDV Typhoon. And then once you have VDV Typhoons on the front, you can bring forward your BMPs, your BPMs. Well, those aren't in the game. The BMDs, I believe I'm thinking of. We're going to get BPMs in the future with Rosgvardia. And you can see there the Tor. I hadn't been using the Tor in this deck for some time, but oh my god, with the helicopter spam this guy was throwing at me, it was absolutely critical that I had it. And yeah, we got some really good CASPR runs off, as I call them, with the Tu-22 and the Iskanders and the MiG-35 seed runs as well. Combining all 3 of those can be extremely potent, especially on a bigger map like this. But as I said, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell if you want to be kept up to date on any Broken Arrow news. or any of my videos. We're going to be doing some content-related videos regarding the upcoming specs, such as Rosgvardia, in the near future. So please subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay tuned for that. Comment down below if you have any questions regarding the gameplay, regarding my playstyle, regarding the game in general, or regarding future content like that. I'm pretty knowledgeable about what's going to be coming in the game in the near future. Also, let me know if you guys enjoyed this style of post-match analysis commentary on the video instead of live commentary. Would appreciate feedback on that, because I feel like this is probably a more engaging style of video compared to just playing a gameplay video where I'm not really saying anything in the video because I'm so locked in. In any case, this is CASPR-AirTaxKing, egressing out.